Well, I don't think he was advocating that. He was just simply saying that those lower wages at the moment present an opportunity to attract some investment in New Zealand. Now, the government remains totally committed to closing the wage gap with Australia, and in fact, I think we've made progress in a real after-tax sense in closing that wage gap. But there are some companies that are coming to New Zealand because at the moment we represent good value with high-quality people.
You did say it was an advantage, though. Do you agree?
Well, in the case of someone like Canon, who set up their call centre in Auckland, which is quite a high-quality call centre, then I think that was one of the reasons why they came over. But from the government's point of view, we want to lift wages in New Zealand. We'll use every advantage we've got, whether it's a competitive exchange rate, whatever it might be, but the ultimate goal is to narrow that wage gap.
So are you comfortable with this comment?
Yes. Just simply stating a fact of it.
But you have said that wages, after-tax wages, real wages have gone up 16%. The CTU
Yeah.
have done an analysis and they say that since December, 2 years ago, it's only 5.3% that the average after-tax real wage has gone up.
Well, I can't remember the last time I certainly haven't quoted a number today, but whatever numbers I've used, I have to go back and look at those. But my understanding is certainly we've narrowed that gap and we've lifted after-tax wages.
Well, they was talked about wanting to attract more foreign investment
Yeah.
to New Zealand. Isn't that dangerous in the fact that there would mean profits and dividends repatriating offshore? Shouldn't we be looking more for capital inside?
Well, the government is committed to trying to lift the national savings rate so that we can fund more of our own economic activity, but we're also not opposed to foreign investment when it lifts wages and lifts jobs. And you've seen us make sensible changes to those conditions around overseas investment, and we'll continue to do so.
So does this admission that the wage gap is still 30% wider in Australia, between Australia and New Zealand, does that mean that you've failed in attracting as much capital as you wanted to?
Well, again, I don't know if he identified what the wage gap was. He just simply said, as I understand it, that those wages are the source of some inbound investment as people take advantage of that opportunity. As I say, over time it's been my expectation, as you see that investment come in, then those wages actually will rise.
He also criticised Australia's reliance actually on the mineral boom and said it wasn't really sustainable, that New Zealand had a much, much better future with its commodities.
Well, I haven't seen those comments. I mean, the speech that he gave was in Auckland. I don't think it was off a prepared script, so I haven't actually read his particular comments. But look, it's a statement of fact that Australia has a very strong mineral base, and that's likely to provide large economic stimulus for Australia for a long time into the future. His point, I think, around New Zealand, as I understand it, is that we equally are blessed with a strong capacity to harness that commodity boom. It's just in a slightly different area.
Well, he said more so.
Sorry?
He said more so. He said the Australians were basically limited by being essentially relying solely on the Chinese construction industry, whereas New Zealand's commodity base was across the whole of the Asia-Pacific region in terms of markets.
But you might have a fair point. I haven't looked at the analysis of that.
Is that something we use, though, as a marketing strategy for New Zealand to come to New Zealand because, in Australia, come to New Zealand because you face decent wage costs?
Well, at the moment, New Zealand is certainly seen as a country which is high quality in terms of its people, and which, as a statement of fact, is slightly cheaper in terms of its wage rates than Australia. That doesn't mean that's going to remain the long-term position. As I said, the long-term objective is to lift those wage rates, but the question is how to do that, and the answer is you've got to ultimately lift productivity. Now,